Hey, beautiful people. This is Kristen. I just wanted to give a quick shout out to all the new subscribers and say thank you for coming over and taking a chance on my channel. That means a lot to me. I just have a passion for all things books, as well as I always start out my videos addressing you as the beautiful people. And I just want the new people to know that if nobody's told you that you are beautiful this day, you're beautiful. And I know that sometimes a word we equate with glamorous women, but I think the beauty is the spirit within all of us, which is good for all people of all ages, genders, nationalities. Everyone has a story to tell, and we are here to talk about those stories that have been recorded and written down and audiobooked, and let's get to it. Hey beautiful people, my name's Kristen. Thank you for stopping by my channel to see what I might be reading in the month of December, and I really need your help because I think my time in December is going to be really limited. I have started my marathon time of year. I am losing my voice because I just spent a whole weekend with teenagers not sleeping. And I'm a little run down. But I'm excited about books and I want to share them to you. So here's what I'm definitely going to read, and then I'm going to show you what I have left that I want to read. And what I really want you to do is tell me which one I should read. And that one will become the priority. So I'm going to read these ones first. Last year, I asked y'all in December for recommendations and what you thought I should read in 2023. And I picked 12 books in each category of nonfiction, general fiction, and classics. So now I have one of those 36 books that I haven't read. And that's This Tender Land by William Kent Krueger. I have heard a lot about it, but I've kind of forgotten because I've never read this author. So I'm just going to kind of go into it without knowing and enjoy the ride. I'm really looking forward to reading this. As well as I did subscribe to The Year of Sanderson, and I haven't read the fourth book yet. And it's this beautiful edition of The Sunlit Man. And so this is absolutely going to get read because I want to eventually be a Sanderson completist, but let's be real. He is so prolific and has over 50 books. So we're gonna work on it very slowly, but I'm super excited to read that one. As well as book 10 in the Wheel of Time. I am trying to read the whole Wheel of Time, and there's what the fans like to call the slog, which is either starting 7 or 8 and going through book 10. This is book 10. So my goal was to get through the slog by the end of the year. But the funny thing is I adored book 9. I thought that it was 5-star for me. So I'm optimistic that this will not be sluggish, and then I'll technically be through what other people think is the downtime of the big epic series. So that's amazing. And my longest book on my bookshelves that is physically sat here without me reading it is actually from a book box that I used to get. I think this was the Coffee and the Classic, and it's Kate Chopin's Awakening and Other Stories. So I found the Awakening free download audio. So I've been listening to this. So this is the only book I've started so far in the month of December, but I love it. And I found that if you have not listened to this author before, she writes very beautifully, almost poetically descriptive, but also has a lot of characters and plot. So I totally think audio is actually a really great way to do it, is what I'm saying. So I'm going to look for what these other stories are, or I'm going to read them. So I'm going to finish off my longest standing TBR as my classic of the month. And I will also on audio be re-listening to definitely The Call of Cthulhu. So Greg at Another Bibliophile Reads is hosting the Christmas Cthulhu read, which this is Lovecraft. This is early backroots horror author, and Cthulhu is a mythical monster. Well, I mean, he's legit in these stories, right? And it's very creepy. It's very kind of cults and lots of kind of weird worship people dying, sacrifices, that kind of situation. But having said that, even though I'm not a big fan of those types of stories, I really do enjoy the classical, old school authors, kind of that classic writing style. So I will be listening to some audio because I read this physically the first time through. So I thought, you know what? These are public domain and I can listen to these. So I want to join in that readathon, just re-listening to those stories and re-engaging them because they're kind of fun. And then I get into the books that I really wanted to read personally in 2023, and I pulled them and I said, these are the top books that I really want to get to this year. And it's a pretty big stack, and I'm not getting to them all. So I'm moving over the first one, which is Noopiming, Leanne, Betasamosake, Simpson. And so I wanted to show you, Bandy's books had this down as a possible read, TBR book haul kind of thing. And I said, oh, if you're going to read that in December or January, let's read it together. Because I think this is the book that I may need some feedback or help with. Because I don't know that a lot of people have showed it, but if you can see, like most of these pages are short, kind of what I think is philosophical discussions. It's basically a woman who's been kind of preserved or frozen and she's coming back to consciousness, and there's these different 7 characters that represent the different aspects of human characters or consciousness, or represent the will, the lungs, their conscious, their marrow, the nervous system, the eyes, ears, and brain. And so that could be over my head thinking wise. So even though there's like sometimes pages that only have one sentence on them, so pretty quick to read it physically, I think it's one of those things that I'm going to spend more than what it would take to read a page thinking about it, like what is that saying or what does that mean? So anyway, I look forward to at least starting that book and trying it. So hopefully Bandy and I can find a platform that we can communicate on and kind of share it and go through it together. And now it's where I need your help. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 6 books left. And you know I'm not going to get to them because, again, December is a crazy month where I even lose my voice. But the only nonfiction that I didn't get to was Thomas Sowell's Personal Odyssey. This is a college economic professor and his backstory that I have been wanting to read for a long time. I also did not get to this YA geared As Long as the Lemons Tree Grow. This is teenage refugees out of Syria and just supposed to be, got great reviews, and I have loved so many similar books that I think that one's a 5-star prediction for me. Wanted to read it this year, haven't gotten to it yet. I also have been really anxious to get to Louise Penny's continuation of her series of Inspector Gamache in 3 Pines. And this one's the Cruelest month, which I think this one's centered around Easter and spring. So if I don't get to it in December, I may target it for, that time of year. But I'm totally down with reading it in December. It's, I think it's a party that's having a seance and somebody dies. I think that's the setup for that one. Then I really want to try Attica Locke. I've heard good things about this author. This is Bluebird. I thought it was like an old-timey setting because it talks about Texas Rangers. However, when I read the cover, it's basically modern. And this was, I think, came out in 2016. And you could see from the front cover, it's a modern picture on the front cover, but it's basically East Texas. I don't know if it's family feuds, but crimes that are going unsolved. And so the specialist comes in, and I think it is specific about racial tensions because I think there's a white death and a black death, and then there's some questions about were these things racially motivated. So look forward to getting to that this year. Don't think I'm going to unless you voted in, as well as the Eyre Affair. This is Jasper Ford. So this is another kind of mystery, but it's the fictional characters that are being murdered and killed off, and we have to, you know, figure that out and solve that, so it like saves the book, so to speak, which seems appropriate for my channel title and everything. And then finally, the last book that was sitting on my TBR shelf right next to me, trying to get me to read it this year, was The Exiles. This is Christina Baker Kline. So this is a story told from a woman. This is old school, like way in the past, and the timing is the woman gets pregnant, which is out of wedlock, which is a crime, and so she is being sent off for that. It has to do with there's slave ships going on, there's prison systems, and I guess these prisoners or slaves are being exiled to a particular island. Anyway, I have heard so many people say so many good things and personally tell me, hey, I know you and your style of reading and you will love this. So it was on my, I want to get to this sooner rather than later. But guess what, y'all? It's later. So there's the 6 books. So The Exiles, The Eyre Affair, The Bluebird, Louise Penny's The Cruelest Month, Long as the Lemon Trees Grow, and maybe the Thomas Sowell biography. So which of these do you think I should work in? Because I'm pretty sure I can work one of them in, at least start it in 2023. But the rest are going to have to carry over to 24. So leave me a comment, put your what you think should make it, and I look forward to hearing all your thoughts in the comments. Hope that you are doing well, don't lose your voice, and have happy reading. Take care, y'all.